is going to be a little bit of a weird pairing, but stick around to the end of this video to hear an absolutely banger offer from the sponsor of today's video, my favorite underwear company, Sheath Underwear. So Speaker Mike Johnson dodged a metaphorical bullet yesterday in the motion to vacate. Not narrowly. Did I say narrowly? It wasn't narrowly. He avoided it. And he avoided it so that he could move on. I mean, it's so that he could fund the government and work within the framework of the House of Representatives' very important tasks and duties, but also to set his sights and attention to the weight of his office as Speaker of the House to solving problems that do not exist, like voter fraud and non-citizens voting in federal elections, for which there's already laws on the books to prevent. And I'm going to play this clip, very brief clip of him being asked a question. We're going to try to elevate the reporter's audio, but it just in case not, I want to read you the question, and so you'll hear his answer. The reporter asks, among other things, are you saying that there are currently non-U.S. citizens voting in federal elections, and do you have an estimate of how many? That's the question. Because they're putting forward the idea that we need legislation to stop this. Even though there's already been legislation, it's illegal in the United States right now for non-citizens to vote in federal elections. It's illegal. Something I agree with. A lot of people on the left or liberals, they don't agree with this. I do agree with this. I think that citizenship is important. I think citizenship is special. I wouldn't expect to go live in France somewhere and be able to vote in their elections. You may disagree. That's okay. So I want you to listen to his answer, that there's no data, there's no backing of logic or research or statistics. It's a gut feeling with Lil Mike Johnson. Watch this.
Saying that there are currently non-U.S. citizens voting in federal elections, and if that's what you're saying, then do you have an estimate of how many? And then a quick follow-up on what Democrats were saying about this bill. They're basically saying this is a huge part of the former president's revenge tour.
No. So actually, on the first question, I mean, the answer is that it's unanswerable. That is the problem. States are not allowed right now to prove, if somebody claims on that simple form that they're a citizen, they can vote. They're not allowed to prove whether it's true or not. We all know intuitively that a lot of illegals are voting in federal elections, but it's not been something that is easily provable. We don't have that number. This legislation will allow us to do exactly that. It will prevent that from happening. And if someone tries to do it, it will now be unlawful, and the states will have a mechanism to prove whether they are or not. And to suggest that this is some sort of revenge tour is kind of a silly notion. What we're doing.
Amazing. Amazing answer. We all know intuitively, he says, that a lot of illegals are voting in federal election, but it's not been something that's easily provable. We don't have that number. It's because the number does not exist. That's the reason you don't have the number. Mike Johnson. Dipshit. Here is a tweet from Ted Lieu, which perfectly encapsulates as a metaphor or a comparison what's going on here. It's great because I was going to do something similar in this video, and then I ran across this tweet, and there was no need. So Congressman Ted Lieu, thanks for taking off the load of work off of my very weary shoulders, sir. I appreciate it, Congressman. He tweeted this: I will be obviously tongue-in-cheek, obviously like a parody here, a little satire from a congressman. I will be introducing a bill to ban elementary school students from voting, even though it's already illegal for them to vote in federal elections. I intuitively know how young kids are voting in federal elections, but can't prove it. However, my cousin's friend read it on the internet. You can always rely on Ted Lieu for a banger of a tweet. Look, this is the Republican agenda right now leading into election to bring doubt into the minds of American voters that there is fraud on some wide scale. No evidence, just like after the 2020 election when Donald Trump's team brought 60 plus cases that were all thrown out of court, up to and including the Supreme Court. There is no voter fraud in America that would constitute any kind of legislation. It happens on individual bases. It happens occasionally, but it is so rare, and it happens only in individual cases. It's not widespread voter fraud that would impact even local races. And further, when it does happen, it seems that time after time after time after time, it's a Republican who's committing voter fraud, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, a little fairness and charity here, and they've done it because they've been whipped into such a frenzy, a conspiratorial hysteria about voter fraud that they think they have to commit voter fraud to fight against the voter fraud that's happening on the other side. And then they get convicted. Time and time again, it's a Republican submitting their dead wives' absentee ballots, signing their father's absentee ballots. It's Republicans who do it because fundamentally they do not have respect for our democracy. They do not have respect for self-governance of an electorate. They want an autocrat. They want a dictatorial maniac in Donald Trump to lead, to be a dictator on day one, to terminate all articles up to and including the Constitution of the United States. That's what they yearn for. They want a boot on their neck. They've cried that they're martyrs for so long, that they're victims for so long, that it's become so ingrained in their psyche that they yearn to actually be martyrs and victims. Except that they celebrate wanting it now. It's mass psychosis on their part. Anyway, what do you think? I would love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, or you can just leave a comment below. That works. Helps YouTube to show this channel, introduce this channel to new people in their recommendation algorithm. That would be great. You can also call, though, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. I hear so many voices, not just the ones in my head, when I listen to voicemails, and I appreciate your feedback very much. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore everywhere. You can support my work by becoming a channel member for $2 a month. You can go over to patreon.com. You can also check out this offer from Sheath Underwear and get a great deal. And you and I could be underwear twins. We could share the same underwear style. Not underwear. That would be creepy. Stick around. Watch this. Here in the United States, we grant separate powers to three co-equal branches of government: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. Divided, each branch can better support the working of our government as a whole. Why shouldn't this practice carry over to the governing of our own bodies? Rather than allowing your branch and berries to stew in a single stuffy cesspool, well, why not divide so as to diminish your discomfort? Sheath Underwear is here to help you separate your church and your state. Sheaths are the only underwear with a dual pouch system scientifically designed to keep your executive branch separated from your judicial, if you know what I mean. Democratize your drawers. Head to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore now and score 20% off right away. It was invented by a U.S. Army veteran while serving a tour in Iraq. The idea for Sheath arose from the discomfort that was experienced in these harsh environments. As a former United States Marine stationed in that part of the world, I get the inspiration. I wear Sheath every single day, and they are the only boxers that can agreeably accommodate my tree trunk thighs and keep my branches of government carefully compartmentalized. And I'm not the only fan out there. Sheath are recommended by multiple doctors and urologists and have over 20,000 five-star reviews. The airflow meshes, they're my favorite personally, but Sheath has tons of excellent styles and designs. And once you pick, Sheath will land them on your doorstep nearly instantly, thanks to blindingly fast shipping and amazing customer service. Also, your purchase doesn't just help you out. Sheath supports multiple charities like Socks for Soldiers and Doctors Without Borders. So you're making the world a better place too. Upgrade your undergarments right now. Score 20% off when you head to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore and divide and conquer your discomfort with Sheath Underwear.